I'm going to show you how to take a 2D image, extract curves from that, and use that to extrude your own logos without having to manually place each individual vertex. Okay, so in Blender, we're going to want to use the images as planes add-on. It's always a great start. I, for instance, have loaded image of local sports team. Anyway, we're not here for sports. We're here for 3D models. So I'm going to start by going into the modifier tab and going into the subdivision surface and changing it to simple subdivisions. And I just want to see all the geometry. So I am just going to turn the optimal detail on and 4 subdivisions. That looks good. Okay, so I'm now going to go and add another subdivision surface. This gives us some fine granular control. And then now I'm going to start to displace it. So for the displacement map, we're going to go and use the image that I loaded for local sports team. And here we can see in the shaded view that it's not scaled properly to where the logo of local sports team should be. So we're going to fix that by changing it to a UV map. And now it's starting to look like something we can work with. So we're going to head back into the shaded mode. And this is where I'm going to turn up the subdivisions. I like to use simple just because this will make the work for us easier later. 5 subdivisions should be nice and clean. But let's do 6. Why not? Okay, so from here, I want to keep a record of my work. So I'm going to go and just convert this to a mesh. And I'm going to click on Keep Original. So this way I now have the mesh with the modifiers, and then the mesh with all the modifiers applied. Nice handy little backup. So on this file here, so on this mesh, we have far too many polygons to do anything with it. It looks like it's about 1 million verts, 2 million edges, 1 million faces, way too many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select a face where I can extract the most data from the logo. And I'm going to select everything that's coplanar to it, which is why it really helps if you're working with a nice clean image. I should state that. But I'm going to go and separate that into its own selection. And then the other stuff I can just hide. So from here, I'm going to go back into the edit mode. And in the edge select, you can actually go and select the edge sides here. You might have to click it a few times. And then you can have all the edges of all the edge polygon point vertices thingy selected, whatever, words. And you can separate each of them by selection. I have found that I am unable to typically shift click these multiple things, because you can see I was shift clicking and it wasn't work. So you just have to do it one at a time. Little bit more work, but the end result is a lot nicer, I would say. Okay, there we go. Now okay, yeah. Okay, so now since we have all of these edges here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these shapes and I'm going to join them once again to one object. And we could do stuff with this logo, but it's going to have too many vertices. So we're going to select all the verts that we have here. And underneath edge, nope, underneath vertex, I'm going to start by smoothing the vertices. And you can see you got this nice little slider on the bottom, so you can determine how sharp or not sharp you want it. Still in edit mode, we're going to select everything here, and underneath the edge, we're going to go and unsubdivide. And then you can choose how many iterations you want to unsubdivide. 3 looks about good for me, but you can see here now we have less faces, and if you were to increase it even more, you have even less. So you've now recreated the logo, and you might have to move 1 or 2 of these vertices, but that's overall a lot less work than having to place however many vertices it would be to get this semi-complex logo working. Okay, so we're going to have to take a few of these and fill them in. Okay, so we're just going to finish up the logo here, which is really fairly simple. I'm not going for 100% accurate. I'm really just kind of going to get the process shown. Extrude it once more, and there we go. Got a logo ready that we can now send to the printer. Looks horrible rendering, that's because we've fussed with stuff, but that wasn't the point of this. So now you can use that same process. It's a little rough. Whatever, it wasn't meant to be perfect. The intent was I wanted to show you how you can still get pretty much all the way there with using a few different techniques that don't involve you having to place each vertex by hand. You're still going to want to maybe edit a few vertices, but hey, it's a lot better than having to do however many vertices this would have needed. So the good thing is, now that you have the original 3D object, you can now do stuff like 3D print your own logos. And if you go back and check the Sun tutorial that I did, the Sun lithophane, you can go and see how to do the color changes on your Prusa as well. I don't know what my snappy ending line should be. Insert witty closing remark here.